Michael and Kris had to cancel their summer camping plans because their brand new motorhome has many problems.
The door has this whistle that literally almost drove us insane.
Welcome to the channel. I'm Liz. I have been RVing since the 80s, and I've been doing videos about RV manufacturers to bring about much needed change in the RV industry. Today I interview Michael and Kris, who have such a crazy story that I'm pretty sure you'll be shaking your head as you watch along. As you may know, I've gotten a few buybacks lately, including from Jayco, so you'll want to stick around to see what their response is later in the video.
It's our third camper. We decided on this one because we've had towables before. Kris doesn't really enjoy towing, and she definitely does not enjoy backing it in, especially at night. So we wanted something that's drivable, that she can take off with a friend or one of her sisters and, you know, be totally competent and comfortable with it. And so Class C was the way to go. And then on the flip side, we live in Montana, so we get outside year round. We do some guiding in Yellowstone in the winter, and then we also get out and snowshoe and cross country ski with our dogs, and we mountain bike. Anyway, we love the outdoors, and we had seen that the Winnebago Echo was making a big hit. It's a true four-season. You can use the water and everything in below zero temperatures. We were literally about to purchase an Echo when the announcement about the Entegra Condor came out, and we had seen that there had been many recalls on the Echo, so we thought, shoot, Entegra is a really high-end brand. Jayco gets good ratings. Let's go with this. It's going to be a four-season for us. So we put our order in. We were literally one of the first ones delivered. I think we were in the first dozen. On March 7th, 2024, I drove to Missoula. I rented a car, drove out there. It's 5 hours away, and picked up the rig. My initial inspection was pretty good with the dealer. So this particular vehicle, you can use the heat when you're on shore power, plugged in, but you can also use the heat boondocking because it will draw fuel from the chassis gas tank. And so when I was shown this system, I was shown on shore power, but then I was also told they flipped it over offshore power and they showed, look, the heat's still going, water's still heating. Great, awesome. The generator cover was missing. That was kind of I was like, well, and they said, you know, that's kind of normal. Once in a while, they'll forget to put that back on, but they're sending it out to us, not a problem. Then the next thing that came up was they said, your second set of keys, the driver from Jayco forgot to leave them, and he took them back with him. So you're going to have to go and get a set made, Mike. And I was like, I think maybe you guys should get the set made. But anyway, got in the vehicle, started the 5-hour drive home. About an hour into it, I thought I would listen to some music. So I know vehicles sometimes come with Sirius to start, and I have an account. So I pulled over, turned on the radio, tried to find things to turn on the volume. No volume at all. And it even said on the screen there was an issue with the volume. And I thought, well, that's odd. So I got online and looked, and it appeared that there was a issue with the monitor for the volume. So I thought, well, I'll deal with this when I get home. Long story short, it turns out the monitor in the dash is it's faulty. Ford needs to replace it. That's a whole nother story because Jayco's not standing behind it, even though it left with an inspection from their place in good condition. When I got home, I parked, and then the next day, Kris and I went out so we could show her how everything works. We were getting ready to take a trip in about a week and want to start putting our things from our other camper into it and get it ready.
No matter what you buy, new or used, you're going to probably want to upgrade your mattress. A lot of people don't know this, but you could spend $200,000 on a new RV and that mattress be like cardboard. And of course, if you're buying used, you'll definitely want to upgrade your mattress. Well, it's now been 2 years that I upgraded my mattress to an RV mattress by Brooklyn Bedding. If you remember, I had back surgery a couple years ago, so definitely getting an upgraded mattress was a big deal and really helped. One thing I learned is I had been sleeping on the wrong type of mattress. I'd been sleeping on a firm mattress my whole life when I actually needed to be sleeping on a soft. They have a wonderful chart that, based on your weight and your sleeping style, tells you what is best for you. So I used to wake up kind of feeling stiff and sore, and I thought, well, that's just a natural part of getting older. But when I switched to the softer mattress, now I wake up pain-free. Now they do have lots of different types of mattresses. I sleep on the Aurora Luxe. It has a chill pad. I love that. Like the name says, they specialize in RV mattresses. They come in all the unusual unusual sizes like king short and queen short, as well as bunk models. RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding makes buying a mattress so easy. First of all, they have a 120-night sleep trial, there's a 10-year warranty, and there's free shipping. They ship to you directly from the factory. The factory is in Arizona, so it arrives pretty quick. Now, these mattresses can be kind of heavy, even over 100 pounds, so you might need some help getting it in the door. So make sure you check everything out, but don't pay full price. I can get you 25% off. Just go to rvmattress.com/LizAmazing, put in the coupon code LizAmazing, and you'll save 25%. Thank you, Brooklyn Bedding, for sponsoring this video.
When I went to show her how the heat worked, there was no heat. There was a faulty code. It flashed a fault code. And
this was March stopped. In Montana, so it is. We need heat at that point.
So I picked it up on a Friday. This is a Saturday. On Monday morning, I called my dealer, which they have one in Billings, also an hour from us. They said, bring it on in. We'll check it out. I left it with them the next day. They said, we're not sure what's going on with it, what's wrong. We're going to need it a few more days. I said, well, I'm going on a trip this Friday to Colorado. I need it. And they said, oh, yeah, not a problem. Anyway, they got to a point. They said, Mike, we don't know why it's not working off the chassis fuel tank, but it is working off shore power. So we went ahead and took it, knowing we could get on shore power when we got down there. When we got back, I took it back in. That would have been about March 20th or so. They had it for a few more weeks, and I said, we have a family get together in Big Sky, and we are using the camper for our portion of it, and again, I'll have shore power. So we picked it up, we drove it to Big Sky, 3 feet of snow in Big Sky. Fortunately, we had shore power, so we had heat. After that was done, I took it back. I believe April 18th, I took it back. They've had it ever since.
And we haven't seen it since.
We haven't seen it. We're making payments. We're paying insurance on it. We're paying interest on it. Many, many other items came to light in that first time we used it. The toilet cassette doesn't come out. They haven't told me whether or not they got that figured out. The door has this whistle that literally almost drove us insane on the drive down and back, and of course we couldn't turn on music because the speakers don't work through the system. Literally, anytime we're over 60 miles an hour, nonstop, out on the side door. And we tried putting a rag in there. I had made sure it was completely closed. I tried putting a little piece of seal in there. I'll tell you what, 8-hour drive to Colorado was put the earplugs in, and the dogs were in the very back going, what the heck is the noise? And it was
crazy making. All the cabinets that open up have nothing to keep them up.
Yeah, they don't have their struts. None of the cabinets that go to the side have their latches. One of the cabinets came loose. The flooring in the bedroom started coming loose on our first use. When our dealership was test driving it after we dropped it off again, about a week after we dropped it off, they drove it to find the whistle in the door. And my dealer said a major problem we found while driving it, it was raining, and rain was coming in somewhere above us and hitting us in the face. To date, they still don't know where that is or how to fix that. The privacy screens for the windshield and the 2 front windows, I was told would be shipped out. They've never arrived. There was a rear awning option on the back of this that I asked for with my dealer, and they talked to Entegra, and Entegra said, not a problem, we're going to ship it to you. Still no rear awning as far as I know. And no advice on how to install it either. They said it was a plug and play, and my dealer said, no, this is not a plug and play. This is a major operation.
I don't understand how it left their factory like this.
It's either.
It's ludicrous for what we paid for this thing. I mean, we bought it because we were looking at getting a cabin, and I said, why not get a rolling cabin where we can go to any lake? Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And the heating thing too, it throws different codes all the time. It's not like it just throws a code. It's constantly different codes. And my dealer's tech, Daniel, who's been awesome, has been on the phone with Jayco so many times, and he just said each time it's a new code, and each time it's try this, and each time there's no heat. This is also a solar-powered vehicle, so it has a cabin battery that is charged by solar. That has never worked either. That went dead in the first week, means the solar's not charging the battery. So you have to drive it to charge the battery. You have to drive it quite a length. So the whole solar system is not even working either. So if we wanted to boondock, we wouldn't even be able to do that. I was told the owner's manuals would be shipped to each owner ASAP, and then a few weeks back we found out no, the owner's manual actually doesn't even exist. It won't be out until next year. So no owner's manual to even know how to work some of the stuff that's in there.
We don't even know how to test any of these things. like when we had it. We haven't, as you know, we haven't had it since April. It's now mid-July. I don't know what they're doing up there with it.
And not only that, but we've literally canceled 6 trips, and we're about to cancel a 7th.
I'm turning 60 this year, and this was our summer to go have fun in this camper, and we have not been able to do that. We've canceled trip after trip. Our next one is in August, and I bet we'll have to, get a hotel. And we're going to Utah in September, but we don't have a hotel there because all of our friends are camping, so I don't know, we might have to bag out of that too. We spent more on this van than we did on our house. We live in a tiny house, so we saved up for this, and I can tell you that I am angry and so disappointed, and I regret this purchase because our whole summer's been ruined.
I was a custom home builder. I would make mistakes, or sometimes things wouldn't happen on time, and when something wasn't right, I took my own time and my own money to make that right for my client. That's what you do. You make things right. It's obvious to me that these things are being pumped out. They aren't actually going through any kind of an inspection. And if they are, I can't even imagine, because the stuff that's missing and the stuff that was wrong is just like this. They all come with a JBL portable speaker, no speaker. I mean, it just like,
every little thing.
There has to be a checklist, right? But it looks like they're just shipping them out. It's incredibly sad to see a company that has been around for a long time. It's sad to see them send something out that should have never been sent out, take someone's money, and then basically not give a damn about that customer and the struggles they're having with what they created.
I can't believe that whoever's in charge of quality control still has his or her job.
And I can't believe customer service still has their job, because as far as I'm concerned, they don't have customer service. There is no customer service with this company. There is a kick the can down the road mentality going on.
Honestly, I've washed my hands of it because I'll lose my mind if I have to do this. And I'm like, only one of us can be crazy at a time. You ran into that guy at the gas station where we live, who had a Granite Ridge.
This was about a month ago, and this poor gentleman, he was at the gas station, and he had Pennsylvania plates. And I saw the Condor. One in real life. I haven't seen one besides ours. So I go running over there, and I introduced myself, and I said, "Hey, I've got one of these." I go, "How do you like this?" And he said, "I've had it since early March, and this was mid-June." He said, "We bought it because we wanted to do a trip around North America this summer. We bought it in Pennsylvania, and when we got to Florida, we realized there was a few problems, and we took it to a dealer there. A couple of things got fixed." He says, "Then we made our way across the southern United States, got up to Oregon." He said, "Our plan was to originally go all the way to Alaska, then across Canada and back down." He said, "By the time I got to Oregon," he said, "my 2 front tires were bald because of something in the suspension that wasn't right. The heating just was not working." And he's like, "I'm not going to Alaska without a heating system." He had a couple of major problems. And I said, "Well, have you talked to customer service?" And he laughed. He said, "Yeah, I've talked to customer service." He said, "They have not been helpful or empathetic in any way whatsoever." I said, "Well, what are you going to do?" He says, "I'm going home. I'm going to sell this." He goes, "I'm probably going to take a $20,000, $30,000 loss, but I'm going to sell it. I never want to see it again. And I'm going to buy something else and continue on our trip." And if you go to our Facebook page that we started with all of the owners, we're seeing more and more of these same problems. Another person just posted recently that they have rain leaking in while they're driving. Another person posted their whistle in their door is so insanely loud it's beyond comprehension. At one time we had, I believe, almost 500 members, and then we dropped down to almost 400 members because people were like, I'm
not going to buy this. Based on what I'm reading, I'm not buying
we're back up to 463. So there's a lot of interest, but a lot of these people are joining because they want to see what those of us who have it are going through. They want to see, is this something we actually want to purchase? And I'm telling you what, quite a few of these people have decided to move on to something else.
I wish we had seen this. Well, Michael and another guy started it, but if it had been around before we bought this, we wouldn't have bought it.
I know better. We all know better. Don't purchase the first year of a new model, right? But I literally did this because...
He was a huge fan of Entegra before this.
I do my research on everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I research everything. I read and saw and heard that Entegra is like, it's the Cadillac of the RV world. Honestly, I feel like I got a Gremlin, an AMC Gremlin. That's missing parts. I've told people flat out, if I were you, I wouldn't buy one of these. I'd look somewhere else. Don't buy one until it's been out for a few years and you see the reviews on them.
I'd say don't buy it ever, because they can't stand behind their products. Like, I don't want to give my money to a company like that. They haven't been apologetic at all. No, they haven't even recognized the fact that we made plans based on using their product.
They haven't recognized the fact that we spent $120,000 in cash and financed the rest, and it's sitting over an hour away at a dealership for 4 months now.
Now, they didn't mention this, but getting an inspection on new is now a thing, and I highly recommend it. That would have saved Michael the 5-hour drive. He could have waited until the dealer had everything fixed and it was ready to go. The cabinets fixed, the heat fixed, all that before picking it up would have definitely made things a lot better for him. If you're shopping for an RV, new or used, you definitely want to get an inspection.
We bought it on March 7th, and we've had it a total of 8 days for 2 trips that thankfully we could be on shore power, but all those other problems were still existent. Basically, Michael O'Connell, his last thing to me was, he said, Mike, we're going to get this thing fixed and get you guys back on the road. Basically, ASAP, like we're going to, like, and we've been a month since that email. And anymore, if I email them stuff, I'll sometimes send them screenshots of people with similar problems from our Facebook group, or I'll, and
it's just
nothing.
Crickets.
It's just crickets now. There's no response anymore. And now the dealer's telling me they're still waiting on approval on some things from Jayco, and Jayco's telling me, oh no, we fast-tracked everything through. They still haven't figured out what's wrong with the heating system.
And this is what they do for a living, We did not
We've
get
never
the
received a second set of
keys.
keys. No,
We never received the awning. We haven't received the speaker. We haven't received the curtains.
Yeah, and nobody knows how to get the touchscreen fixed because Ford and Jayco don't want to play nice to each other, I guess, is what's going on. I've never talked to Ford, but I've been told that Ford's saying it's on the dealership to fix, but the dealership doesn't replace touchscreen units and dashes. And so my dealership doesn't want to touch it, and Ford doesn't want to touch it because it's in a camper. So that still is not resolved.
We're just in a hard spot because we have zero control, yet we're still paying. My sister just said, well, just stop paying. I was like, well, that's not gonna help us. No. It's such a simple thing to me, is just make it right. Give us another one.
Yeah, I mean, at one point we're like, hey,
refund it if we're not happy.
Let me drive this one back to you guys, and let me take one that truly has gone through 100% inspection. I mean, look,
they haven't even offered that.
Nothing.
That's the simplest thing ever. I'll replace it for you. No.
In fact, I would kind of want a faulty one back because I would want to see what the problems are, right? Like, these are our problems we're experiencing. I would also want to find the person that did the final inspection and fire them, but we want the cash we put down, the interest we've paid, the insurance we've paid.
Minus 8 days. We did use it 8 days, and I'm happy to pay for
we'll
those.
We'll prorate 8 days,
rent it.
although it was only half working 8 days because we still didn't have a touch screen and we still didn't have. But yeah, we just want our money back. We want to be done. I'm willing to sign anything. I don't care anymore at this point.
You probably remember that recently I was able to get a buyback for a Jayco owner, for Robert, who owned a Jayco Terrain camper van. So I reached out to the powers that be again for Michael and Kris. I heard right back that they were working on the case, but then it's been a couple days and nothing more. So I'll have to do an update, so stay tuned for that. What do you think should happen with Michael and Kris's motorhome? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video valuable, please like, subscribe, and share. If you have any shopping tips for people shopping for a new or used RV, particularly first-timers, also feel free to put that in the comments. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.